Welcome back to Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. It's been a long month, unless you've been binge watching, which in this case I'm flattered. But for those of you living in the present, it's been a month, but we're finally back to it. We're finally at Zulag 3. We're finally going to do the things that we need to do at Zulag 3. But of course, before we do that, I wanted to show something off that is just a little thing that might be a bit important. If you have grenades on you and you get zapped, those grenades they're not gonna do you any good. And of course, the more grenades you have, the harder it'll be difficult to get out of that. And you can carry up to 9 grenades, so you can imagine how big of a mess that whole scenario can turn out to be. Now, the beginning of Zulag 3 kind of characterizes the whole area in general, in my opinion, which is waking up guards and slogs and just generally messing with them. A lot of sleepy enemies in this area, which I suppose makes sense since this is relatively deep into the facility and they probably don't see a lot of action here. I too would be quite sleepy. Despite that, I would say that Zulag 3 is, while not the hardest area in the game, probably the hardest Zulag in Rupture Farms. It's also the longest if you don't count Zulag 1 in the beginning. One of the rooms is particularly long-winded and kind of irritating to go through. Despite that, it's actually my favorite. It's the second to last Zulag. It's nice to have a favorite area near the end of the game. Although, if I were to be honest, primarily the reason why it's my favorite is just because it's very purple, which is definitely my jam. So let's start off right away with getting the hardest room finished, because just for convenience sake, I'm going to get rid of all 3 of my grenades right now because, well, 3 is a respectable number for grenade having. I think we can do a lot better. Now see, this guy, he'll wake up when we turn on the boom machine, but it's okay because he can't really shoot us. He's kind of a dummy, and he'll walk out of the screen. And as you see here, we have 9 grenades, which, if used properly, will last us for till the end of the game, more or less, if you use them properly, which is easier said than done. I got that zap machine in my first try. I'll never remember what they're called. I'm so sorry. But I got it in my first try here. But that was after a previous recording of trying to get it like 8 times and screwing up all the time. Anyway, by doing that, we get to get rid of these 2 guys. And here's a speedrun trick. You can only do this as a slig. If you run off the ledge like that, you can actually pull the lever early. I don't know if those levers have like any sort of specific name. Like I said before, there's no real in-game reason for them to exist besides as a form of progression. So I suppose you can call them the progression lever. The industrial flintlocks. The shiny stick. Right. Yep. Okay. So the main problem with this room is this long shaft down here. The deeper down you go, the faster these carcasses of meat fall down. And the closer you get to the bottom, not only do they become faster, but you'll also have more meat flying at your screen. And naturally, at the very bottom, the timing becomes very tight. And it's also difficult to determine the timing because of the meat flying at the screen. It's very distracting. Luckily, we do not have any mistakes in this particular case, but that room threatened me as a child, and it can be very discouraging to get killed by that room when you're so deep into it and then have to start over all over again. Now that's like, I don't know what's up with these 2 sligs that I just killed. They don't really serve a purpose. Less so, I guess less than this guy. This is why I'm really paranoid about pulling levers. If you don't run as soon as you pull this lever, That guy will get the jump on you for sure. There's really no way to be able to tell that he'll pop out from that pulley, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of these 3 sligs in order because the one that just fell kind of pops up out of nowhere, and the 2 I just killed are kind of just there. They're not really used for anything interesting besides shooting each other, which might be a hypocritical thing of me to say, considering what one of my more favorite parts of the game are later on. But in this case, I'm not a fan. So we got a couple of Mudokons to save. What's there to say about saving Mudokons? They're pretty standard at this point. They'll do what you want them to do, and they will be very happy about it. They don't have emotions. All Mudokons are completely complacent with doing what you want them to do, and not once will they ever think for themselves. That's actually not a joke. I'm pretty sure that's like a canon thing. Mudokons are really stupid. There's a Shrike portal, that's why we're gathering them, in case you couldn't gather. Not the last... Is it the last Shrike portal in the game? I don't think so. We'll find out. It's not. It's not the last Shrike portal in the game. But with 4 Mudokons needed, it's easily the highest number of Mudokons that we've used to get a Shrike. Now the Shrike again is going to be used mainly for taking care of explosives, not really actual enemies. Unfortunately, there's this jump. If you're doing the save all run, you're going to have to do this jump at least 3 times. And every time it's going to be very stressful and scary. We made it. Another day gone. And that was it. That was the Shrike. Sometimes I get the impression that you can actually skip some Shrike sections through very clever bomb usage. And I mean, if you're into doing that, I guess you can to save those 2 Mudokons, but there's really no reason not to, unless there's like some wicked cool speedrunning trick involved. I don't like speedrunning Oddworld games, for what it's worth. A lot of the tricks used freak me out. People who speedrun this game freak me out. It feels unnatural and I feel threatened. Abe should pull the glowy lever too, because he's the hero. It should technically be his hands doing it, instead of a slig. And that's the hardest room of Zulag 3 finished. Long room, difficult room, but it did leave us with 8 extra bombs, so that's good. Now this room can be done a legit way, or my way. I'm going to try doing it the legit way first. And it basically involves navigating these 2 mines around. As you can see, it can be kinda tricky initially, because the one on the right moves in a really weird way. Don't like how it moves around, and you know, just in general, it just kind of, I don't know. Too much waiting, too much blowing up. I don't like doing it the legit way. So instead, this is where our 8 grenades will come in. Because the developers are so gracious and open-minded of us doing things in a unique fashion, instead of navigating through these mines the first time through, we can just blow them up right away if we have the grenades. I was actually afraid that that bomb was too far, that grenade was too far ahead. Could have blown up the Mudokon, but he actually didn't get blown up, so that's good. See? He's fine. Now this slig at the bottom here, he always falls asleep when you leave the screen, no matter what. So he's actually pretty easy to take care of. I think he'll chase you to the opening room initially, but you can also just blow him up. And that's just as easy. That makes it easy for everyone. I don't know why I said hello there.
Hello, follow me. Okay.
And if I'm right, this is actually the only Mudokon in this room. I've recorded this gameplay like over a month ago, so I'm sorry if my memory is a little shaky right now. But yeah, this whole room just for one Mudakin, and of course, we can't go through it until we pull the lever, so we're gonna have to do that. See what I mean about everyone being sleepy? There's been a lot of sleepy guys here. It's strange. Or not strange, but justified. Now, that way I was doing it legit. Normally, you would get to the end of the room here, get the grenades from the bomb machine, and then go back and blow everything up. But considering I already had the grenades, everything was worked out pretty well for us initially. Now this guy, we can, I don't know, I guess we can blow him up again. But I'd like to possess him instead. I guess he didn't want me to possess him, because he just fell off the ledge in the next screen. So that finally happened. I've been talking about that happening for the whole LP, and finally near the end of the game, it happened. I don't even know if it's scripted. It might be scripted. It happens more often than not with that guy in particular. But that's one Mudakin down. 11 to go, or maybe not 11. You'll see what I mean next video. There's a trick that I did by accident. We might have to, it's okay. We'll be okay. Now this is why I said I was a hypocrite for not liking that earlier Slig section where you just kind of possess Sligs and they seem to have no purpose. Because I really like this room, because all it is just trapping these dudes and then shooting them. Or literally getting the drop on them and shooting them. It's very easy and mindless. And I don't know, brings a certain sense of satisfaction to me. I think the reason why I like it is because in the other room, if you possess a Slig, the other guy will immediately notice and will shoot the possessed Slig, and it just feels like a waste of time. But in this case, you can shoot them first, so it's okay.
Hello, follow me. Okay.
Now you may think, oh no, there's another room, but where's the lever? Well, this particular room is actually made of 2 rooms, which is not as interesting as it probably seems to you, but to me it's super interesting. It's a more complex system within the system. That directory just shows the map to Zulag 3 again. Nothing we haven't already seen. Now see, here's what I was talking about just now. Like, when you possess a Slig and you get shot immediately, that's just really irritating. It's a waste of my time. Waste of everyone's time, and no one needs that. And there's no way for you to get the shot on first if you're not even done possessing. It's dumb. Now in this next room, if you shoot that guy, 2 more Sligs will drop down and shoot you back. But if you move back strategically like this, you can actually shoot them off screen and still keep your dude alive and well. Just a good way to save some time. And now this slog is actually very dangerous, because he'll actually kill the Slig that you're possessing. Like that. Except you got killed instead. And you gotta do this mimic thing again. Simon Says thing again. It's probably the only time where you see a lone slog that's not inside a slog kennel to actively try to kill a possessed Slig. So, that's interesting. And with all that finished, we have the last 2 Mudakins in this room to save. And that will finish up Zulag 3. As you can see, it's a bit longer than Zulag 2. Maybe not as long-winded as I initially gave the impression of, but if you didn't know what you were doing, it would probably take you a long time. But that would probably apply for this whole game. You could probably speed through this game in like an hour, even if you didn't do any weird tricks. In any case, next time I'll see you as Zulag 4. Check out that purple fire, it's really cool. I have to say something about it before it goes away forever. I'm Met, and next video we'll see some interesting changes to everything, because I messed up. You'll see how I messed up. Just watch the cutscene. Bye.